The 4-year-old along a fence line, and police taped off the little girl's home around 9 p.m.
The instrumentalities.
Investigators unearthed the truth. 3 years later, the accused Arizona...
No new updates at this point, no searches that we know of, so hopefully someone will see something and call authorities in Tennessee soon.
What's your name?
Xana.
It's just time to move on.
Residents of the community are now being warned to stay vigilant.
Hear anything? Is it a scream? Right now it's 6. The search for Madalena Kohberger gaining extra firepower, and it's not from police. It has now been 67 days since the 11-year-old was last seen.
Cornelius police have said her mother and stepfather are not being forthcoming.
Good morning, guys. I'm not turning my camera on, y'all. I just woke up. I missed the Bryan Kohberger thing. I need to catch up, and I thought I would do it with you guys. Okay, let's see. Who do we have in here? Tattooed Angel. My voice still isn't right, guys, because I was just waking up. Tattooed Angel was number 2. Amy was number 4. And I saw she said she'll be in a doctor's appointment. Thank you for hitting the like before your doctor's appointment, Amy. You're a sweetie pie. I Want Heart to Touch was number 7. Hindsight. Good morning. Or good day. Elaine G. Thank you, Elaine. I appreciate that. Hey, Shani B. Uh-oh. Hold on, my chat. Okay, there we go. Hey, Shani B. Hey, BH. Hey, because girls is players too. Cracks me up. Good morning, Darcy. Good morning, Adam. Oh, no, P. Allen, girl. I don't think we'll be too long. I just want to catch up on the run thing together, okay? Yeah, like I said, I was asleep and I missed it. So we're going to do it together. Coco was number 16 to hit the like. Okay, guys, catch me up. Who has kept up with it? What has happened? We're going to watch it together anyways. We're going to go over it and replay it, guys. Hey, Nina Butterfly. It's Monday. I hope everyone's having a good Monday. My kids are officially out for summer. I'm sitting in my bed doing this. But we got this. He stayed silent. Judge took as not guilty plea. He tried to put not guilty. Okay. So I'm wondering if they have any hard evidence that is going to help him get off. That's all I'm worried about. Like, why did they move the court date up so fast? It was kind of a big, sneaky surprise. You know what I mean? Y'all, Huntress is going to be so mad. I think she's still sleeping because her babies are not home this weekend. And she wants to talk about the, see. Okay. Hello, little Missy. I did see that Hindsight going to trial on October 2nd. Guys, I really just wonder if his lawyers like agreed to move this up because they think they can get him off, or if he, I don't know. Hey, Pink Fan. I'm waking up with you guys. Y'all are gonna have to hang in there. My brain will start working in a second. I got my coffee. Okay, let's stop well, not stop this, but let's share. They're looking forward to years of appeals. Yes, Coco, goodness gracious. They were already crying because they were hitting each other a few minutes ago. I was like, guys, come on. Come on. Hey, Misty Dawn. Thank you. I want heart to touch. Okay, I'm going to pull up what I missed and mute it, and we will catch up together, and then I can type a chat. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay.
A replay. This is the pool camera queued it up. They are about to play it, and we're going to hear it here live on stream for the first time. But again, this is a replay from approximately 30 minutes ago. So what they're doing now is they're beginning on this first frame. They are alerting stations across the country to get ready to receive this video. This is how pool camera situations work. It's queued up. It's kind of ready to go. And then they will hit play once they get the green light. During this, what we're going to do is Walt and I and guests we will remain quiet. We will listen in. I'll try to boost up the audio as much as possible here in the stream center so we could hear as much as possible. And then afterwards, we're going to break down some of your observations, some of your questions. We'll be looking for hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyWalt in the YouTube comment section. So the video now is being queued up. They've now gone to the closed door. So what we're going to see is Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger enter the courtroom. We're going to see Judge read out the indictment. Let's bring up audio. And we're waiting for, again, the pool camera team. They are alerting all stations.
Okay, I think this was like the moment they got word that they could legally share it.
We also have a backup feed in the event that this one goes out. But again, this is the indictment for those of you just joining us. The indictment of Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, the lone suspect in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in November of last year. He is facing 4 first-degree murder charges as well as a charge of burglary as well.
The silence we're experiencing now as we wait for the video.
There it is.
There
Let's
you
listen
go.
in.
Okay.
Rise. Thanks very much. Please be seated. Good morning, everybody. We have some people on Zoom here too, so we're going to hide it. Okay, let's get on the record, please. Thank you. Okay, we are now on the record in State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger, CR 29222803. Mr. Kohberger is in the courtroom along with his attorney, Ms. Taylor. I believe also part of the team is Jay Logston and Elisa Massa, who is participating by Zoom, I believe. The state is represented by Mr. Thompson, Lake County Prosecutor's Office, or Prosecuting Attorney. Ms. Jennings is of that office too, Lake County Prosecutor's Office. Also, part of that team is Ingrid Beatty and Jeff Nye, both from the Idaho Attorney General's Office. I'm John Judge. If you don't know me, I'm the Lake County District Judge, and I'll be presiding over this case. So, Mr. Kohberger, you've already heard a lot of what I'm going to tell you at your initial appearance, but I'll repeat it to you because it's important, and I want to remind you of these issues. So I'll briefly cover your rights, the charges against you, and the maximum penalties if you are found guilty or if you plead guilty.
Hickfan, I don't necessarily keep up with it either. This is more of Huntress's thing, but I know enough. You know what I'm saying? I've watched T-Rev so much on it. So, it's your third time watching it this season. And yes, Mama Shimmer, I know. Can you imagine those families sitting there reliving this every freaking time?
At that trial, you would have the right to cross-examine the witnesses.
He is like the devil himself sitting there in orange.
To call witnesses to testify for you, and if you choose to testify in your own defense. But you're not required to testify because you also have a right of silence. That right is protected under the Idaho and federal constitutions, so you can remain silent throughout these court proceedings, and that can't be held against you in any way. What you do need to remember, though, is that anything you do say, other than to your lawyers, could be used against you in a later court proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You also have a right to appeal any final decision of the court. In order to exercise that right, you need to file a notice of appeal within 42 days of that final decision, or that right is waived. Also, if you are not a United States citizen, any finding of guilt in this state could have adverse consequences to your legal status. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Any questions about the rights?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kohberger. So let's go to the indictment. Do you have a copy of the indictment in front of you?
Yes.
Thank you. And you see in the heading your name there. Is that your correctly spelled complete name?
Yes, it is.
Is that the correct birth date underneath your name?
Yes.
Are those the correct last four digits of your social security number?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to read you
Good morning, Josh.
the charges on the indictment.
Or good afternoon.
Starting with count 1, burglary, That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-1401.
Count 1 burglary.
1403. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. Count 2, murder in the first degree. That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001.
So count 1 burglary, count 2 murder in the first degree.
4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogan, from which she died. Count 3, murder in the first degree. A felony under Idaho Code
Okay, so
Section
who's gonna get
18-4001, 4002,
murder in the first degree? Hey, do y'all think that they will remove the gag order from this case?
This alleges that you, on or about
I don't
November
think they
13,
will,
2022,
but I really
in
wish
Latah
they
County,
would.
state of Idaho,
Indiana.
did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Kayla Gonzalez, a human being, by stabbing Kayla Gonzalez, from which she died. Count 4, murder in the first degree. That's a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. Alleging that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Zaina Kernodal. Excuse me. This is hard. I'm sorry. Zaina Kernodal, a human being, by stabbing Zaina Kernodal, from which she died. Count 5.
Yeah, look at
Murder
his
in the
body
first degree.
language, like his demeanor
This is a
sitting there.
felony
He
under Idaho Code
no
Section
care about what he did.
18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being, by stabbing Ethan Chapin, from which he died. This is signed on May 16, 2023, by the presiding grand juror. So now I'm going to go to the maximum penalties of each charge, starting with count 1, burglary, minimum 1 year, in up to 10 years in imprisonment, fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and imprisonment, restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. For counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, murder in the first degree, maximum penalties, life in prison, or the death penalty. Fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and life in prison or the death penalty. Restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. Also, additional fine of up to $5,000 to be paid directly to the victim's families. If you are found guilty or plead guilty on each charge, and the maximum sentences are imposed consecutively, that means one right after the other, you could be facing 10 years in prison, followed by 4 consecutive life sentences or death penalties, fines of up to $200,000 and $20,000 to be paid directly to the families, with any restitution resulting from the crimes. Okay. Mr. Kohberger, do you understand the charge in count 1?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 2, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 3, murder in the first
Oh,
degree?
look at my
Yes.
cat.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 4, murder in the first degree?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the
Yes.
first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Okay, because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge. Counts
So I'm
1,
guessing
2, 3, 4,
the judge,
5.
I saw,
Now, at this
who was it,
juncture,
said she
the
wonders
state
why the
has
judge
60
says
days to
they
give
pleaded
notice
to
of
not
intention
guilty.
to seek the
They
death
said that
penalty.
they said that he was pleading
And,
not guilty. I
Mr.
think it's because
Kohberger has
he
a constitutional and
is
statutory
remaining
right to
silent.
speak
So
trial.
the judge went ahead and said
So
for
let's
him,
start
I'm
with you,
pleading.
Ms. Taylor, and then Mr. Thompson to discuss scheduling.
He's on.
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to set this trial at the very outside of the speedy trial, right? We're not prepared to do anything but ask the court to do that today.
Okay.
He had no remorse. He took the lives of 4 young people whose lives were just starting. And look at how he's sitting there with
I have not counted it out.
zero
but I
emotion, zero
believe
care,
that
zero
November
remorse.
22nd is when the speedy will run. Maybe November, something like that. So I'd ask the court to set it for an October trial date.
How long do you think it will take to try the case?
My best guess is it would take at least 4 weeks, maybe 6.
Do you think he remains silent with a guilty plea so he can take a plea deal later? Oh, for sure he's going to try to get a plea deal, but no matter what the deal is, he's going to be spending the rest of his life behind bars. And that's the main thing, you know.
And in order to do so, I will have to get rid of some of the other jury trials I have, but this is more critical and more important.
Ooh, Sub-Zero. I didn't pay attention to that.
Those trial dates are workable for the state judge.
Thank you.
Hey, Amy, I hope your doctor appointment went good. None of his family members were seeing their uncles. They were in a holdover room from everyone. Well, that's good that they didn't have to sit with everyone else, you know. That's good. To be put on display with all those emotions. Yeah, he's on edge. Oh, none of his family were seen unless they were in a holdover room. Oh, okay.
About October 2nd, starting.
So we don't even know if any of his family was there, huh?
6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
But Dawn, I believe he's on edge for himself. Because he knows what's coming to him. He doesn't care what he did or what anyone else is feeling about the loss of these 4 lives. He's on edge for himself. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So with that, by the way, I do want to let everybody know, if they don't already know this, that once the grand jury issued the indictment, preliminary hearing scheduled to start on June 26th was no longer needed and was vacated. So some people are confused about that. So I thank counsel and the media and the public for your attention and respect. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, so basically they canceled the June hearing.
Bryan Kohberger electing to stand silent, and the judge entering a plea of not guilty on the 5 charges, 4 for first-degree murder, an additional charge for burglary as well. JB Buno, WFLA senior investigator Walt Buteau here with you live in the WFLA Now Stream Center. We're really going to hone in now on your reaction, folks, your comments.
I'd be on edge too facing what he is. There's no way he's going to get out of 4 counts of first-degree murder. No, May.
Might still be hanging around. She's invited to pop back on whenever.
Thought she done blocked someone, y'all, on my phone.
Either any of the hashtags on your screen, we can bring up.
No matter what they bring to try to defend him, I don't see him getting out of
react here first. I have a couple of things to point out as well. But let's start with you.
Guys, I don't see how these people that do this stuff go to court and sit there and still try, knowing their whole life is over.
You don't always hear that, believe it or not.
Does that make sense?
Hear that from defendants. There's
like, why sit there and try? Why not just give up, say guilty, and just sit there and where you belong?
He answered every question very directly.
Definitely for himself. He's trying to choose his next chess move. Definitely not concerned for the family or victims at all.
The plea. When he remained silent, and we knew he had remained silent for the plea, and that the judge had to enter the not guilty plea for him. So it sort of, I guess, maybe surprised me that he was sort of so forthcoming and spoke up so much when he was asked those other questions. What did you think?
The word that I'm going to use is
I wonder if he is sitting there thinking there's really a chance he's going to get off.
Like he was asking, like he was being asked questions about. What'd you do last night?
I wonder if he thinks that he really has a chance.
But he made clear he was enunciating his responses.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back during.
I'm wondering why he chooses to stay quiet and not enter a plea deal and not guilty if that's his plea.
And some of the trials
our
audience members on WFLA Now in our comment section know what I'm talking about.
All I can think that makes sense with that is what Mama Shimmer said, that she thinks that, I mean, not she thinks, but like she said, do you think it's so he can accept a plea deal later on?
Points where he was,
that's the only reason I think he would, choose to remain quiet.
I think back to Johnny Depp.
Hope they give him a death penalty.
Smirks and twitches, and I know that we're really early on in this process, but this was as straightforward,
hold on, let me Google
direct,
something
coherent, and concise of responses as you'll hear from a defendant.
I saw
his face stresses me out, guys.
Okay, one of the first Bay Area defendants from January 6th during a federal hearing where cameras aren't allowed in it, as the judge was reading the charges against him, literally. Actually, I should say, put his head on the table, just went thump like that in a federal courtroom.
Did he hurt himself?
He just was sort of like, if I was interpreting it, it was sort of, what did I do? And that, of course, was not nearly as serious as this. But yeah, this guy was definitely very straightforward. Like you said, very present.
Okay.
And the only reason maybe we're surprised by that.
So we've got, what are the benefits of not having the death penalty? It is irreversible and mistakes happen. Execution is the ultimate punishment. The risk of executing an innocent person can never be eliminated. It does not deter crime. It is often used within skewed justice systems. It's used as a political tool. No, what am I reading? I'm Googling, what are the... Okay, so death penalty versus life. Let's look that up instead. He won't plea. He trained his whole life for this. I believe that 100% hindsight. I really do. It might be his way of feeling in control, maybe. P.E. Island Girl, that's totally possible because I feel like he needs to be in control of him. You know, the OCD and all the stuff they found out about it, it just makes sense that he has to be in control. Hold on, guys, just a second. Okay. He said he looks forward to getting exonerated. Okay. Tutti Frutti, do your yard work, silly girl. Enjoy a pretty day outside. How could any human be so cruel? Berries and cream? You know, people, I don't want to say normal people, but we can't understand that because we don't have the mindset that these freaking loonies do. Okay, I'm going to say it like that. He would have a better chance of it being overturned if it's a life sentence versus death penalty. Yeah, that's what I was reading. I'm going to rewatch. Completely missed it all. Had a call. Oh, okay. Pink Fin. That's fine. He's 50 Shades of messed up. Say that again, Sub-Zero. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's see. Let's read about the death penalty. It says death penalty is often compared to life without parole. It is evident that the capital punishment is not only effective but more humane. Many prisoners are oh my gosh, y'all. I'm getting so tongue-tied. Many prisoners, in fact, rather take the option of death penalty rather than going through. Wait, what? Many prisoners rather take the option of death penalty rather than going through the death penalty. Life imprisonment is act that is also extremely dangerous and can cause high suicide rates. Okay, so the problem with that is who cares? You know, who cares? Because what did this got to do to those 4 children, like kids who were just starting their life out, you know? Who cares if it causes high suicide rates? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying he's a freaking monster. Who cares what it causes for him? Oh, hey, Miss PJ. Is this live? I thought they couldn't stream it. No, Tutti Frutti. I'm just watching. Hold on, let me get back to my screen. I don't know where I am. Okay. No, it's not live. I mean, the news channel's still live talking about it, but the court was not streamable. They could only share it after the fact. As soon as they got word that they could share it, they did, and that's what we just watched. And now they're just discussing it. Are they doing the 2 motions now too, or are they later? They're later. They're going to happen later because that was, you know, that was the end of it. They mainly said he's entering a not guilty plea, and they're moving the court date to, instead of June 22nd or whatever it was before, they're moving it to October. So, was it October, guys? October 2nd. Thank you, Dawn. And then they will, I'm guessing, do the 2 motions then? I don't know. That's the cheaper way for the death penalty to be enacted, in my opinion. Okay. Okay, Tutti Frutti, go do your yard work, love. Don't worry about us sitting here. We're just hanging out. I'm just sitting in my bed in the dark. It's kind of like nasty out here, too. I think it's going to storm. I have a lot of love and care in my heart, but I have absolutely nothing for pieces of, we'll say sheet. I say sheet. Like him. Excuse my almost bad language. Well, excuse mine too then. But honestly, I agree. Like, I like to think I care about people. Like, too much, y'all. Too much. And get attached to people. But when it comes to someone like them, like him, Kohberger, no. There's nothing there. No feelings of, I don't feel bad for him at all. Hold on, let me see what this is. Aw. Hold on, guys. Multitasking. Okay. I know, Sub-Zero. Look at him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the control he's trying to keep in court is just from his OCD and all the weirdness he has going on. All the people that have told us about him, it doesn't paint a good picture. It kind of paints a control freak. I'm trying to think of the word. He's like he's unconnected from the world. Okay. These allergies are killing me off, Dumpling. It's so warm here. My eyes are streaming. Oh, girl, if you have been watching, look, I've been doing this ever since I woke up. My eyes are just pouring. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Bailey's like hacking and sniffling. It's that wonderful time of the year. The havoc he caused, allegedly, is so horrible for all of the victims. Their family, and even his own family. He doesn't care. He doesn't care what he caused for anyone else. Why? I don't know. I will never understand why these people don't care, but they don't. Yes, Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana. Those beautiful young souls that had everything ahead of them, and he took it all. Yep. Smirky, smug face, unfazed. I read somewhere that his sister thought he unalived another girl at a different college. Guys, I can't, this is like my opinion, but I don't think this was his first time doing something like this. If it was not an actual unaliving, I don't know. I feel like he's done something before this. How could he not? How can your first horrible crime be going in and allegedly, the horrendous act that he did to these 4 kids? How could that be your first time? Am I wrong? Maybe I just have a feeling it wasn't his first time. I don't know. It's just too big of a crime. Like, it's just too, oh my gosh. Y'all, his smirking, sitting there, makes me sick. Okay. See those jaws clenched and lips piercing? That is total distance from this whole process. Yes, it is. Look at him sitting there. He don't have a care in the world about what he did, what happened, what's going to happen in the future. The only thing he's worried about is trying to get away from it. That's what I'm saying. Why do these people who do these horrible things think that they have a chance? Like, sit there and think that they're actually going to get away with it. They had what he never dreamed of having. What he would never dream of having. I don't know, Miss PJ. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he chose them. I can't deal. I'm literally going to work, come home, and daren't go out. Feel you. Aussie, are you sick with this? Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, y'all. I feel y'all. My eyes are just crying. I don't think it's his first crime. However, BTK and the live 4 family members on his first crime. Yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously they can snap and unalive how many ever people at the same time on their first crime. It's just something about him and how well planned out he thought he had this, and all the details and the time he took to plan it, ordering special, what was it, like, what they call them, sheaths or whatever, like ordering special things to do this crime and everything. It was like, something about it makes me feel like he was too experienced. You hope they have all evidence concrete. Oh, Mama Shimmer, me too. Me too. Did you just change your picture, Mama Shimmer? Now it looks like a pretty sky. Hey, BM. You don't think it was his first time either, Amy? I don't know. It's just something, like I said. The time he took to plan it out. Don't you think his family felt something was going on with him, just different? You know, he wasn't the same as before, acting like how he was acting. Yeah, well, you saw how I don't know if it was normal or not, but the way he looked at his dad in the car in that body cam footage when they got pulled over, when his dad said something, he was like, uh-oh. You know, the way he looked at him was very, I would have got a bad feeling for my child. I would have like, why is he looking at me like that, you know? I feel like I'm sitting in the dark being a vampire, guys, but honestly I am, because my eyes watering, so yeah, I can't do it. I would let y'all see me in the light, y'all, but my eyes are just like watering so bad this morning. Kind of believes that even his parents helped groom him. I don't know anything, Miss PJ, about his parents. I don't want to speak on his parents because I don't know anything about them. But they definitely had a strange child. I will say that. So I don't know if what they saw was normal or was kind of like something's going on. You know what I mean? You did change your picture. It's pretty. Maybe Miss Lewis will come to the rescue. No heart, no soul, pure evil. You can look at him and tell there's no soul. You know? You can look at him and tell that. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn this up for just a second and do a couple things.
authorized the firing squad in Idaho.
Reason being is because there have been holdups in several states regarding the really the chemicals, the means necessary to do lethal injection. That there has been some difficulties in obtaining the means to carry out lethal injection. So giving the state the other option of a firing squad, yeah, that's reality right now in Idaho. Really quickly, C. Glenn hashtags for myself and Jennifer. I'm going to go to you because this one has a hashtag for you. Might standing silent indicate willingness to accept a plea deal?
Well, that's what I was alluding to earlier. I think it is a control deal unless this is alluding to that. It's a possibility. I think if the state moves to notice the court to put the death penalty on the table, which I think they will, I think, it's a whole different conversation, and he's waiting to see that as well.
How about this question from Nicole? Very interesting. Hashtag KJB. I think he wanted to hear someone else say that he is not guilty. An interesting way of thinking about, there was a calculated decision behind standing silent and why someone might, again, LawTube. I know that some of the great names on LawTube are going to be analyzing this for hours or days. But the decision itself to not say the words "not guilty" and perhaps wanting to hear someone else, whether it's your legal representation, your attorney saying it, or the judge who's the most authoritative figure in the room saying the words "not guilty." Is there a mental sort of component?
Interesting thought.
I'm not
and
sure.
You talk about control. I mean, you're making the judge say you're not guilty.
Folks, we're going to be following along here too, and I'm trying to get an update about. Oh, I want to read this. This is interesting from Bryan Enton. Can't stop thinking about Olivia's baby in court. The message that it sent. That's just a very honest. That's why I like working with Bryan. Is Bryan's not he's gonna share his observations in addition to stating the fact of record. But a statement from Kaylee Gonzalez's family just coming in and it coming into Bryan Enton's Twitter, and I'll read it as, quote, "The family would like to thank everyone for continuing to follow this case and keep the memories of Kaylee, Maddie, Santa, and Ethan alive. They."
Okay, guys, I'm just doing some damage control back here. Also taking off my makeup so that my eyes will quit watering, okay? Y'all give me 1 second.
Are what is important, not the defendant. We are thankful that the Latah County District Attorney's Office finally took the case to a grand jury and came back with an indictment. At the same time, we are disappointed that the judicial process has not been more efficient in addressing the gag order. This is just the beginning of a long journey for all the families, and we are thankful for your continued support and coverage. The Gonzalez family, Jennifer, without question, has been the most vocal throughout this process. And you can see there, using the word disappointed to state that things have been, in their words, inefficient as far as the gag order. What do you make of the Gonzalez's family issuing a statement? Really, I mean, the immediacy after the arraignment concluded.
Well, I think the Goncalves family is grieving like all the families, and they are grieving in their own way. I've thought a lot about the Goncalveses. None of us, unless we've been in their shoes, know how we would act. And, I have a lot of empathy for this family. Their daughter, Kaylee, strikes a chord with me. I think I have a daughter who is much like her. And I can really relate to the anger and frustration that they've likely felt through this process. And I know they want to speak. But from my view, as a former agent, I think this really helps the case from the prosecution standpoint as well. I think it's fair to the defendant, And I really do think this is the best answer, but it's the hardest answer for the victim.
I'm looking here for any updates whatsoever, folks, on the gag order, and I'm looking here if any of those motions now, because the time is now 1:18 Eastern. That makes it 10 a.m. Pacific time, and that would put us at the second of the two hearings. If especially to our YouTube moderators, our great YouTube moderators who help me out a lot, if anybody sees any updates regarding the gag order, I believe, and Jennifer, I do have that right? The gag order was second, and the motion to compel for evidence was third, correct?
That's right, but this could take a while, and also the judge could decide to issue an opinion later. I've seen that many times, so we'll see if he does an opinion right on the spot or whether he decides to give a written opinion at a later time. But I think he's going to uphold it.
Let's go back to folks. I want to kind of go as rapid fire as I can through some of these comments. Yeah. So Queen is saying, Queen of the Amazon finds. Look at that. That's a great username. Hey man, we all need to find those treasures on Amazon. #HeyJB. What about the gag order? Any chance that gets lifted soon? We experts like Jennifer and others have repeated that they think it is more likely that the gag order stays in effect.
Hopefully, my eyes will quit watering so I can actually read y'all's comments now. Okay.
What will the Idaho Supreme Court say?
Let's see.
Upon them actually properly receiving
Misty Dawn. He wanted attention, and now he's got it. I don't know if he really did this because he wanted to be in the limelight, though. I feel like he doesn't care about attention.
Where that goes.
That's just my opinion. I don't know why he did it, but I don't feel like it's for attention. Like,
I know you were,
I don't know.
Working for the FBI.
Pretty sure they know even more. When the trial comes up, the pieces will fit together more clearly. Yes, absolutely.
Gag order, of course, makes it difficult for.
I think so too. I mean, I know so. Everything will be like, oh, well, yeah, there you go. That makes sense, But right now, when we don't know much,
really quickly, I want them to keep it in place. I think it helps both.
It's hard to make those judgments, those calls on why in the world he's doing these.
I think it's best not to.
Making the moves he's making. As PJ says, their one daughter is an actress in a horror movie. Their son is an aliver. So regardless if they knowingly groomed him or her, wow, they had the same kind of scary family. So I don't want to judge the family members, just his actions. You know what I mean? Because I don't know his parents. I don't know if I'm sure they're just as hurt, knowing that their son took the lives of 4 innocent young adults just starting out their life. I'm sure that hurts them. Did you guys say that? Okay. Mama Shimmer, did you say that none of his family was seen there, or none of the victim's families was seen there this morning? I can't remember which one you said. It's storming now, Tutti Frutti. It's about to storm here, too. That's why I'm hiding in here.
But I get that a case like this, with as much media,
I can't even begin to imagine the pain, anger, and suffering these families have been through, taken far too soon. Yep, just starting out their lives, guys. Imagine. Oh my gosh, it makes me angry.
We cover high-profile cases on here that don't have gag orders.
You need some storm. You need some rain for all the allergies. Maybe it'll wash some stuff away and help. And continue to go through must be a living nightmare. My heart goes out to them. Absolutely, all the family involved.
I have a lot of friends who are attorneys. I've had these
today, yes, we did. Can't remember the last time we had any rain. Oh gosh. They had their whole lives ahead of them. Yes, they did. His family wasn't there in court. Okay, see, I don't think they're. Are they supporting him, guys? I haven't really seen them try to anything with them trying to come out and defend what he's done. You know what I'm saying?
And so Idaho.
Let me turn this down a little bit because I'm gonna read real quick what I muted myself. If I'm gonna read, I better not mute, huh? Okay. We're gonna go back to death penalty versus life without parole. Okay, so it says, guys, like for real, I'm learning with you guys about the court, and you know, I'm learning everything with y'all because court and trials are completely new to me. I never studied into that. So it says life imprisonment is act that is also extremely dangerous and can cause high suicide rates. An example about a man who really wanted to. The death penalty was okay. Graso, I guess that's how you say it. So these people that commit these horrendous acts want the death penalty so they don't have to sit their whole life behind bars, correct? They want to take the easy way out, so to speak. Well, no, I think they deserve to be miserable for years and years and years and sit there and just be stuck in a little box and think about what they did. I don't know. The man started off by committing murder on an elderly lady by trigger warning, guys, by strangling her and smashing her head. Oh, I don't even want to read that. And life versus the death penalty, with life you can get no life without parole. You can't get parole. Okay, someone explain to me why someone would want the death penalty or life without parole versus the death penalty. Someone tell me why they want one versus the other so much. Because this article isn't telling me anything. It's not spelling it out for me. Okay. It says there are quite a few similarities and differences when it comes to life in prison versus death penalty. Oh, crud. It took me on an ad. What is even? No, go back. Y'all pressed an ad. Okay. Some people may ask which punishment is worse. The two types of punishments are similar in a way that they are the most extreme sentences administered today. This article was in 2008. Life in prison is a death sentence itself, meaning that the offender will never have the chance to see the outside of a prison gate again. Nor will they ever be a danger to society again. The death sentence, less likely used, is quick, but does not seem to be a popular form of punishment in America today. Okay, so wouldn't we rather these people have life in prison to sit there and think, sit there and think about what they did and be miserable the rest of their lives? I don't think they deserve to get the quick way out. Do y'all? Am I getting this right? Okay, should life without parole replace the death penalty? Is it because of the costs, like we as Americans are paying for these people that have the death penalty to sit and wait their lives out? behind a prison, in a prison cell. But it says the death penalty is not a cheaper option than life imprisonment. Okay. It says, contrary to popular thought, it is much more expensive to pursue the execution of an inmate than to require a sentence of life imprisonment. Okay. So basically, it is very wasteful and inefficient to pursue the execution of an inmate rather than to just give them a life sentence. So my thought on the life sentence being a huge waste of money for these people to sit in a jail cell the rest of their lives, that's out the door, because apparently it costs just as much to execute them. It's almost 10 times cheaper. It's almost 10 times cheaper to give someone life in prison rather than execution. Okay, I'm not going to click on that and read how, because I don't want to spend that much time researching it, but oh yeah, let me go back. I see someone said Josephine. Okay, let me see. Let me turn my camera on. Okay, Josephine says they get medical care. Our veterans don't even get that. They're in a cell with running water and electricity, and that is more than some of our own veterans get on the streets. You know, it's horrible. They shouldn't even get that. Yay, Huntress is awake. We just went through what is happening with Bryan, what went on today. Basically, he chose to remain silent, and the judge said he put in a non-guilty plea, and they'll be back in court in October for the trial. And we're just talking about, I'm trying to figure out over here, trying to get chat to help me figure out which you would rather someone have. Life without parole or the death penalty. A life for a life, and my tax dollars don't need to take care of them. Absolutely, Josephine. I think an eye for an eye. Y'all, I will scream that from the rooftops. Whatever these people do, these horrendous acts that they do to other people, they deserve it right back. I will always say that. Thing is, most people fear death, and when the death penalty is on the table, it gets real for them. Isn't that so contradicting of these people, though? They sit there, for example, Bryan takes 4 young people's lives, just starting out, for no reason. There's no reason anyway to do that, but you know what I mean. He takes their lives. He ruins so many families, including his own. Okay. And then he's scared of death? Like he's scared of his life ending? No, sir. No, sir. It doesn't work like that. I'm not sure that death is an easy way out. There's no coming back from that. I do not agree with that. Because they don't have to sit there. You know what? I do kind of, hold on. I'm flip-flopping here. So, yes, if they don't, it might not be the easy way out, because they do get to sit there and they get fed and they get, they're sheltered. They have shelter. They're not sitting outside in the freezing cold trying to find somewhere to sleep. So, y'all see how I flip-flop? I can't even make up my own mind about which is. They are guaranteed a basic 20 years on death row. They're cowards and really don't want to unalive themselves. It's more protective sense. You're alone 23 hours a day. A life for a life, an eye for an eye. Deterrence and harsher sentences. Yes, 100%. Plus, they can play victim. I wasn't alive with the death penalty. Yeah. They get Medicaid. Okay, well, I went with that. A bullet is all it takes, in my opinion. If no reasonable doubt they take a life, they should lose their human rights. Absolutely. They should lose their lives the same way that they ended a life, you know? If it were done maliciously, not, we're not talking about anyone like, ending a life because they were trying to protect themselves or anything. More expenses because of solitary confinement appeals they must go through, and the substance to unalive them is very expensive. Okay. Do you think he did this alone? I do not, actually. That's a whole nother rodeo there. But no, I don't think he did this alone. I think there's too many signs. There's too many written out plans, basically. Like, he planned this. He went on Reddit allegedly trying to, what is the word? Trying to recruit people, okay, with weird little experiments and stuff. I just feel like he would want other people involved. Does that make sense? I don't feel like he did this alone. It's just a gut feeling, though. No, like, in concrete reason, I feel like that. It's just a... Okay. Louder dumpling. H-E double barbecue stick. I was like, wait, he what? Oh, that was funny. It's way different to be unalived by someone in an instant versus having that death sentence hanging over their heads every day. So which one would be better for you guys? Which one would you want? If you were a freaking crazy, loony psycho that took someone's life, what would you hope to get? Life without parole, sitting there every day? Or the death penalty? Which one do they go for the most? And why? That's what I'm asking. Hey, Pat Gaines. Honestly, I don't think someone like BK would reflect on his actions. He will always be the one that was wronged in his mind, despite him taking 4 innocent lives. Yeah, but what is he saying he was wronged about? Has he given any reason to why he did this? I have not heard one. I know there's no reason, but ever to do that. But has he given an explanation? You think someone helped him? Suppose he asked if he was the only one arrested when they caught him. Sub-Zero, okay. I heard him say, has anyone else been arrested? Well, that could have been to throw them off, or that could have been because he was literally wondering if whoever, took part in this with him, if anyone did, it could have went either way. If it was my child, it wouldn't cost more. I'd do it for free. Girl, Josephine, say it again. Say it again, okay? I'd want 5 minutes in a room with him. Let me add him if he was one of my kids. Y'all, woo, y'all talking about... I'd end up in the jail cell, okay? Let me just tell you that. Okay, either way, he's going to sit there for a while before they unalive him. Yeah. Yeah, he says he's innocent. So, since he says he's innocent, he's definitely not given a reason to why he allegedly did this, right? I still have that question, guys. Help me out. Why? What do these suspects want usually? They usually want life without parole over the death penalty, right? No, there's absolutely no reason in the whole wide world. No reason in the whole wide world. I don't care what kind of explanation. Well, he's not coming up with one because he's yelling he's innocent. I think it was his father that helped him. Possibility. It's a possibility, you know. That's going down the rabbit hole a little bit. But yeah, it's a possibility. Darn, I'll show my tail at Buckingham Palace if he's innocent. I'll do it with you. For real. Look at him. I can feel the evil vibes coming from him through the camera. Okay, I'm going to turn it up for a second, guys.
Are the sources telling me that a water supply is poisoned? That's the public good. That's important. Are the sources telling me, I'm working on a case today about a murder suspect on the run who's just a long trail of trouble. Are the sources telling me where this guy is? And do I have multiple sources telling me that? My first step would be take those sources to the law enforcement, the U.S. Marshal who are looking for him. Beyond that, if it's a basic case like this, where it's I hate to say it, but I don't want to call it entertainment.
The case now.
I don't want to call it entertainment, but it is, we are interested in this case. There's an intrigue. Is what my source is telling me going to is it worth harming the case?
Jennifer, to answer your question, if a source comes to me with information, I'm not going to be used as a megaphone to just repeat that information like a squawk box. I'm not just gonna continue, not gonna just relay that. My job, our jobs as reporters, is then to get more, use that as a launching point to receive more information, and also to make sure that this person is telling us the truth, and also not just a part of the truth. Sometimes people might come to you with information and tell you, 30% of the reality of the situation. And then it's really, if you just then announce that on Twitter, then you're not doing your job as a reporter to then dig into what's, the other connecting tissue really of what that information means for the public.
A friend of mine, the late Jack White, who won a Pulitzer Prize. He was a journalist for the Providence.
All right, y'all. Sorry, I had to call my husband and get him to bring something home for lunch. Summer break, y'all. Okay, I'm going to post the StreamYard link for Huntress, guys.
And this is why Richard Nixon uttered the words,
okay.
I am not a crook. It was because of Jack's story.
Let me see comment.
But
okay, innocent by foot. Innocent by big toe, okay? No, for real, innocent, right? There's way more freedom in the life without parole versus the death sentence. You know what? You're right, because like Josephine said, they get medical care. Y'all, people get their freaking teeth that have been that are ruined fixed in jail. People go through school in jail. There's all kinds of crap you can do. Or in prison, I should say. You think someone will? Didn't his mother defend a man who got the death penalty years ago? I don't know, Pat. Here's Huntress. I'm bringing you up. Oh, your devices. You lost connection, girlfriend. Okay. He was acting kind of funny that day they got pulled up. Yeah, he was, Tracy. He was. He was acting like he was sus that they were on to him. Huntress, come back up. You lost connection. The girl he went on a date with said that she faked being sick to get away from him, and there's no ex-girlfriends have come forward to vouch for him. I believe he's not a fan of women. Do you think he's angry at women because of that? Because of women not being a fan of him? I don't think there's much chance of that happening, thankfully, but I don't believe for 1 second he's innocent. What did DA say? Where'd she go? I don't see what DA said. Much chance of what happening? Let me see. Oh, of him turning out him being innocent. I got you. Hold on, let me message Huntress and see what's going on. Totally agree, Pete fan. These are according. Oh, okay. She's okay.
I appreciate the conversation. Let's go back and just make sure I haven't missed anything coming up for air here for a second after our talk about journalism ethics and the use of Bryan.
These are according to him. I feel he's guilty of sin. He couldn't cut even being a cop, so I think he wants to be famous being a serial killer. Okay. Okay. Rabbit hole. Big fan of my eyes. He isn't innocent. No. Y'all might be right. He might just be what he might want to be just famous for what he did, you know? Because as much as I can't understand why anyone would want that, y'all know we have these famous serial killers that do want that and have like proclaimed their guilty. Yeah, like that have used the awful things that they have done to literally get their attention.
Because they did not want anything taken out of context.
Don Michelle, get better idols, people. Sorry. I'm so sorry. The darkness and the rainy weather is making me tired. We all have an interest in true crime, but never studied serial killers and have no intention of ever harming the hair of another. Just sick, mentally wrong. We can't understand because we don't have the mindset that these people do. You know? You do believe that he has that he's just angry at females because of the luck he's had with females. Okay, yeah, me too. I do too. So he picked three beautiful, young, blossoming, hilarious, popular females to end their lives because he couldn't get a girlfriend, allegedly, is what you're thinking. But what about poor Ethan just got in the way, I guess, of his crime that night? I don't know. But I do think that he did this for revenge, for not being able to get. But what was it about him? He had spoke to Kaylee before. Like I told y'all, I haven't followed the details in this case at all. The most I've heard about it is when I watched T-Rev talking about it. Hard to believe this guy applied for a job with the same police department investigating him. That's crazy. Isn't that terrifying? Isn't that terrifying? Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, that gives me the chills. Everyone is innocent in prison for the most part. I know there are innocent people, but majority are guilty of sin. Absolutely. Absolutely right, Dawn. Headphones, you crack me up with your headphones name and your little headphones icon. Why's your name Headphones? Like, why'd you pick that name? I think he always had issues with females. Rejection can breed a lot of animosity. Say it again, Dawn. Say it again. All right, you ready, Huntress? Bringing you up. Hey, girl.
Hey, can you hear me? Because my headset's like not connected. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Because I can't hear nothing. Let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
But then you get into the bigger markets, and all of the networks.
Like she said, she couldn't hear me.
Break something on this story.
Girl,
and again,
I could speak on that so much. Just
you want to scoop because you're going to get viewers, eyeballs, and that's money, and that
Look, I didn't realize how much rejection can cause a hatred and a need to have revenge. Does that make sense? And I think that may be a big part of why he did this. I really do. Okay, here you are again. I'm bringing you up.
I'm being a pain this morning. Sorry.
No,
It was afternoon, whatever. I literally just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, I did too. Like an hour. How long have I been live? It won't let me scroll up on this page. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know how long I've been live, but however long I've been live, I went live about 15 minutes after I woke up. I got the kids settled and stuff, and then I was like, all right, we gotta go live and talk about Bryan because I was sleeping, and look, now that you're here, I'm gonna leave and come back so it'll fix my page, okay? I'll be right back.
Okay. Whoa. I'm trying to pull up comments so I can see you guys. Y'all, I took advantage of my kids not being here.
I saw your face.
I did not expect to look up and see myself the full screen.
I'm so sorry. I forgot when I left, it would take that off the here you go. I'm so sorry.
You're okay. Like, wake up call for real.
All right, there we go. Girl, I'm the same
I
way.
literally took advantage of the kids and my husband not being here.
Yeah.
It freaking slept.
You needed it. I know you needed it. But I'm still, look, I came home from your house. I was like on a panel, and then I went to sleep, woke up, same t-shirt, everything, and I was like, okay, let's talk about Bryan.
I had to change my shirt when you're like, yeah, come on. I was like, I'm not wearing the same shirt up there. Somebody's
Y'all, I
gonna
don't
say
even worry
something.
about it anymore. I'm like, listen, I rolled out of bed. Y'all take me as I am, please. Okay, scary to think what could have happened if he hadn't been caught. Obviously presumed innocent until proven guilty in the eyes of the law. Do you think that he had a hatred for women because of rejection his whole life, and that he did this to kind of get revenge? Hold on, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second while I get situated.
I think he has an obsession. I wouldn't say a hatred, maybe. Did you have? Obviously, I'm late, so I missed a lot of what you talked about. But have you heard that he was putting cameras in a girl's house for her, and they think he had access to the people think he had access to the Wi-Fi and was watching her?
Oh no! I think he's an obsessed, freaking creepy freak, allegedly.
Yeah. She had like security cameras put in the house, apparently. This is allegedly because it's not come out 100%, but instead of asking somebody to hook it up, she had him come do it. And so he had access to her Wi-Fi and her cameras and stuff. And that people are saying he was probably watching her. And this was before.
Oh, that's so scary. Isn't that so scary? Holy cow. Imagine. I'm sorry. I choked myself because I got too excited. Imagine being that girl and knowing what this guy did and knowing that. Yeah, imagine that. Just
that would. Oh God, I would have nightmares. Like,
who knows?
You know, I almost would bet she would have survivor's guilt, even though she wasn't even around there. Like,
oh yeah, I would.
Just to know what happened would freak me out.
Yeah, I'd be like, why not me? Why'd I get away? You know, like.
Yeah, that man had access to her.
Okay, who knows how he knows them, and he may not. Could be Randall, but I don't think so. Kaylee's dad said he could see the connection. We will hopefully see during trial. So what I was asking Huntress was, they said something about him and Kaylee had been in contact on some app, like Snapchat or something.
Oh wow, I hadn't seen that.
You hadn't heard that? I don't know if that's just alleged. I still think this isn't the first time for him. I'm sure we'll learn the truth, but gut feeling he knew exactly how to do this. 4 people all at once, first time, I can't see it. I'm the same as you, Tammy. I really am. I mean, I
Well,
know.
there was an older married couple that was stabbed to death by a man in a mask before the Idaho 4. People were talking about that could be him too. I can't remember. I think they said it was close to there or like where his parents lived. I can't remember.
Okay, here's why.
I watched so much I can't keep up anymore.
I understand that. That's how I am with Summer. I'm like, wait, guys, which one was it? Okay, headphones. Originally, it was fart with headphones on, but people in chat started calling me fart, so I shortened it to headphones, which was going to be temporary, but a lot of people got to know me, so I kept it. Fart with headphones on?
That's hilarious.
Why would you use that name at the beginning? You're a trip. I can tell you're a trip. He followed them
headphones. Mine was Becca, and I changed it, and people still call me Becca. So I've just confused them all.
And it's really hard when you know someone in, like, not necessarily in real life, but even people you talk to daily, like even the people in Australia, the girls we talk to daily. It's really hard to remember to call them their YouTube name when you're not live. You're calling them something else.
I have slipped up and done it to you a few times, but we know each other in real life now, not just internet buddies.
Well, I did it to freaking Mama Shimmer the other night. I said her name and I was like, I tried to play it off and I was like, well, Mama Shimmer, what you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he followed them on Instagram and liked their posts, so he was aware, even if he didn't know them personally. Okay, gotcha. Okay, while I'm reading these comments, I'm gonna go back and let you see what happened in court. Okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off though. Okay, look at my sleepy head face the whole time.
I know my eyes are like watering. They're still trying to wake up.
Girl, listen, I had to go off camera and have to take all my makeup off that I had on from last night because my eyes were just like streaming. Okay, let me get that.
Y'all are lucky I brushed my hair.
I didn't.
It was rough.
Don't feel bad. All right, you ready to see what happened in court? It's short.
Mm-hmm.
Try to boost up the audio as much as possible here in the stream center so we could hear as much as possible. And then afterwards, we're going to break down some of your observations, some of your questions. We'll be looking for hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyWalt in the YouTube comment section. So the video now is being queued up. They've now gone to the closed door. So what we're going to see is Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger enter the courtroom. We're going to see Judge
Oh, your sound cut out.
That was me. I paused it and then I was talking away on mute. I'm so freaked out by Dawn's comment. She says he said the shopping was better in Idaho, Washington, and I was thinking, holy cow, is he literally saying that he had better picks on who his
He did say that. He said that's why he went where they were.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Well, there you go. That tells a lot. To me, it does about who he is. All right, hold on, let me mute because I feel a cough coming.
Judge read out the indictment. Let's bring up audio. And we're waiting for, again, the pool camera team. They are alerting all stations. We also have a backup feed in the event that this one goes out. But again, this is the indictment for those of you just joining us. The indictment of Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, the lone suspect in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in November of last year. He is facing 4 first-degree murder charges as well as a...
The silence we're...
What happened to his cute young lawyer that he was laughing with before? Did he fire her and get a new one?
I thought he still had her, but I wonder if because it's gone up to the higher court system, he had to get if she couldn't do it.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
All rise. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Good morning, everybody. We have some people on Zoom here too, so we'll do a hybrid. Okay, let's get on the record, please. Thank you. Okay, we are now on the record in State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger, CR 29222803. Mr. Kohberger is in the courtroom along with his attorney, Ms. Taylor. I believe also part of the team is Jay Logston and Elisa Massa.
All right, guys, hang on. We're going to stop this. Rebel says he messaged me. And he said that they're having the gag order court hearing now. Let's go look at that and see what's going on.
I think that is her, is it not? Taylor? That's that same one that was in the video with him, the person I thought.
She looked younger.
The stress of this case has probably aged her quick.
All right, we're going to play this. Y'all can thank Rebel because I had no idea this was going on. Okay. Second hearing. Here we go, y'all. Let's see what's going on.
This and the evidence that the media coalition intends to put forward evidence.
All right. Well, we'll stay at 1:30 then. So now, Mr. Gray. So I'm thinking that maybe we should keep these things together and do them the same day if that works for you and your clients.
Well, Your Honor, I see the issue very clearly different from the AP's motion versus my motion. I think their motion is more of a getting rid of the non-dissemination order, the gag order. My motion is a motion to amend and or clarify some of the issues in the gag order. They have a lot of constitutional different issues that we have. I have some issues that I think are very separate. So I would request a hearing on my own much sooner. I think the court's aware I filed this motion in February on this case, and there was a massive delay based on the fact that previous Judge Marshall was waiting for the Supreme Court to get some clarification regarding the AP's motion that she filed with the Supreme Court. So I'm ready to go when the court's ready to go, but I think our issues are very, very different than that of the AP's motion on this case. So I would request a hearing much sooner than I can do it by the end of this week.
All right. Well, and I recognize this was all pretty short notice for everybody. And I don't know if, let me go back, let me go to Mr. Rudley and then Mr. Logsdon, because they're going to weigh in on that motion as well. I'm thinking about maybe June 9th would be the soonest I could do this, but
Oh crap!
let me go to you, Mr. Logsdon.
I didn't mean to cough. I thought I was muted. My bad, y'all.
Your Honor, we'd be ready to go and would expect to put on an evidentiary presentation that week of the 26th. To the extent that Mr. Gray wants to have this motion heard ahead of time, and just based on what I've read in it, I mean,
Sharon, I
obviously,
saw
the court
her
would agree with
while you're
what he says.
smiling. Don't that make you sick?
Into the mic, I guess.
Sorry. Obviously, if the court were to agree with some of the things that he says and winds up amending the order, that could change everything for everybody else. So to some extent, I think it actually is probably better to do them all at the same time, so the court isn't in piecemeal changing what we're all arguing about. But I would be ready for the night if the court chose to do it that way.
No judge likes to do things piecemeal. But I also understand that Mr. Gray and his clients have been waiting for a long time now. It's not anybody's fault. It's just how that came down, because the Associated Press et al. Went straight to the Supreme Court in February, early February, and that would trigger a delay, which it did. And it was important, I think, for Judge Marshall to get the direction from the Idaho Supreme Court before we start, chipping away at each order. I don't know if would you be. I mean, I'm okay setting it for June 9th, Mr. Gray, but you may have some testimony happening. You may want to wait until you hear what everybody else is saying. It's likely that there's going to be some adjustments, you might say, or clarifying in the order. Partly in my reading of the Supreme Court's decision. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but there were some hints maybe of what the trial court might want to consider. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Gray.
I was going to say, since this is your gag order now, this non-dissemination order, Your Honor, and in reading my motion, if the court does want to consider making some of the modifications that might have been suggested in my motion, my motion may end up being moot. I think some of my modifications and or clarifications to the non-dissemination order are fairly minor, but allows, and I think the Supreme Court did give some guidance, which I think added weight to my arguments and my motion. So it's not above the court to take a look at my motion as well as any other motions that have been submitted to the court and modify the non-dissemination order, allowing for some of the issues that I've discussed in my motion, and then you would only have the AP who are attacking, I think, the gag order as a whole, the non-dissemination order as a whole. I'm just addressing a couple of clarifications and amendments that would allow myself as an attorney to speak on behalf of my clients that regarding the non-dissemination order. And I think it's your order now, so you're more than apt to be able to go and make those changes, and then we wouldn't have an issue with the non-dissemination order at all. So I don't think that's, so obviously the 9th, I'd like to keep the 9th because my issues are very small and narrow regarding that non-dissemination order. But if you were to make changes to those ahead of time that I was able to review and it was acceptable, I would withdraw my motion, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
Well, it would be highly unlikely for me to change the order before I hear from counsel, because I don't want to, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I only want to do this once. And I'm happy to set it for June 9th, maybe 10:30. Does that work for you?
That does, Your Honor.
Okay. Does that work for you, Mr. Rudley?
Yes, Your Honor, it does.
Okay. Mr. Logston?
Make it work, Judge.
Okay. Let's do that in person. Okay. So now we have the June 9th at 10:30. We also have the Associated Press et al. On June 27th at 1:30. I assume that works for you, Mr. Rudley?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, excellent.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes, Mr. Corona.
Yeah. Your Honor, I apologize. I may have misunderstood what you said earlier. I was understanding that the week of June 26th was when the court was first available, but if the court is available to hear our motion earlier, we would be available on June 9th as well. I know that our most recent motion is pending more recently, but obviously we've been challenging this since February as well. It's our position that the non-dissemination order violates the Associated Press and Media Coalition's First Amendment rights. Those constitutional violations are irreparable, so we would like our motions to be heard as soon as possible as well. And I suggested otherwise by agreeing with the week of the 26th. That was simply because I misunderstood that was when the court was first available.
Thank you. Only one thing I'll say about that. Irreparable harm goes both ways. And so I was a little bit troubled by that claim without considering the Sixth Amendment considerations. I mean, this is a balancing. The law is clear on this. Okay, it's a balancing test. And when your client says that he's arguing it as the First Amendment is absolute, is also troubling. So I would suggest that maybe the Associated Press needs to tone it down, just ratchet down a little bit, because some of the arguments, including the first line in the motion to intervene, says that the Supreme Court held a certain thing, that I do not think that is what the court held. And you know the difference in a holding of an appellate court. So I just felt obligated to help you out a little bit in terms of what the Associated Press is asking for. And in the meantime, there's a lot of potential irreparable harm from media that is affecting a fair trial. So that is really concerning. This is a very high-profile case. So I'm happy to set this on June 9th, too. Okay, how about we set yours at 1:30 then, so we don't kind of push them all together. Does that work for you, Mr. Rudley?
It does, Your Honor.
Okay, does that work for you, Mr. Logston?
Sure, I don't know if we'll have an evidentiary presentation ready by the 9th. That would be my concern. We can certainly try.
Well, let's see, and if that doesn't work out for you, then we'll talk about it. Okay, I just felt the obligation to talk about irreparable harm. Okay, there's a lot of interest here, Mr. Carone, and I think my job, my constitutional responsibility is to consider all of the potential irreparable harms, or all the injuries, or all the harms. So, I just want, maybe it's appropriate. I was just thinking, I just want to remind everybody, okay, on this particular issue, but all issues at all times, that we all, okay, judges, lawyers, journalists, media generally have constitutional responsibilities to both the First Amendment and the Sixth Amendment. And what I generally am seeing in the newspaper and the media is no discussion about the importance of the Sixth Amendment. It's just the First Amendment, which is very important. But here's the real reminder. The first sentence of the preamble of the Idaho Rules of Professional Conduct says that a lawyer, as a member of the legal profession, is a representative of clients, an officer of the legal system, and a public citizen having special responsibility for the quality of justice. We all have that responsibility. And sometimes we push in a hard way for our clients, and that's appropriate. But you have larger responsibilities at the same time. Okay, so we got a hearing 10:30. That's for the Gonzalez family with Mr. Gray. 1:30 is the Associated Press et al. With Mr. Carone. And I think that deals with all the pending motions. For you, Mr. Gray, you articulated what your motion is. So we've addressed that. Correct?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Mr. Carone, those two issues that are still outliers on your clients, I think that's all we have. The motion to vacate the amended non-dissemination order and the motion to intervene. Anything else that we need to address for your clients, Mr. Carone?
No, Your Honor, unless you mentioned the broadcasting issue as well. I'm not sure if you're going to set a separate briefing schedule for that. Obviously, for the motions, they'll follow the briefing schedule wasn't going to follow that. I just didn't know what exactly on that briefing.
I'm going to send a briefing schedule out for everybody. And now, okay, if we're going to do it on June 9th, you don't have very much time to do those briefs. So that's why I was thinking it made a lot more sense to do it at the end of June. But if you all think you're ready to do that, I'm willing to hear it. But I want those briefs. We'll say by June 2nd. Response briefs will be due by June 6th. And any reply briefs due by June 8th. So that's going to be rapid briefing. I'm just trying to accommodate everybody. Okay? I got a lot of interest floating around on these issues. Without forgetting Mr. Kohberger. Primary in this case right now. All right, so let's move to, and I mean, anybody who's here for Associated Press or Gonzalez family can be excused if you'd like. We're also happy to have you stay. No problem.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Carell. All right, so what we have now between the parties is motion to compel, which we're moving out. That was kind of a on and off hearing. Disclosures of grand jury materials.
See, she
while
looks younger
protecting
right
those
there.
materials.
It's the same one.
Public extension time to file pre-trial motions after receiving materials from grand jury. I believe those are the motions that we have outstanding. Is this, are you arguing these or scheduling these, Ms. Taylor?
Your Honor, we can schedule all of those hearings.
Okay, when do you want me to do this?
Your Honor, I think that if the court has June 26th, we can do that. We will be ready to address that round of motions on June 26th.
Excellent. We'll have that 1:30 on June 27th because the Associated Press moved that to the night.
June 27th is just fine for us.
Okay, perfect. Well, 1:30. Okay. Is there anything else we need to address today, Mr. Rudley? Mr. Thompson?
Your Honor, I think the June 27th should work fine. For whatever reason, our office hasn't seen copies of the grand jury, the trial motions, but I think there was a miscommunication. Those will come and we'll be prepared.
Okay, great. And certainly if those issues are resolved between counsel, then we will have to have a hearing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so anything else we need to address today, Ms. Taylor?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Watson?
There, thank you.
Okay. Great. So I think Ms. Masseth has been observing on Zoom. I just wanted to identify her, and also Ms. Let's see. Oh, I guess Ms. Beatty is too. So anyway, there are other people on the
what happened? Why did it stop? Is that all we get to see?
They're killing me.
Me?
No, I said they are.
I guess maybe that's all we get to see, huh? Hold on. Yep.
That's crazy.
Okay. Well, back to this.
I'm curious to see, while we watch the rest of the other one, who agrees with the parents being gagged and who doesn't, because I personally don't think they should be. They shouldn't have to be silenced about their kids being done the way they were. Oh, do you have the option for a poll yet? You could put on there.
Hey, Peace, Love, and Laugh. No, that doesn't come until you're monetized, I don't think, because I don't have an option. Alright. Here, I'll look for a poll option though while I'm playing that.
County Prosecutor's Office, or prosecuting attorney. Ms. Jennings is of that office too, Latah County Prosecutor's Office. Also, part of that team is Ingrid Beatty and Jeff Nye, both from the Idaho Attorney General's Office. I'm John Judge. If you don't know me, I'm a Latah County District Judge, and I'll be presiding over this case. So, Mr. Kohberger, you've already heard a lot of what I'm going to tell you at your initial appearance, but I'll repeat it to you because it's important.
No, there's still no poll option. Tennessee Sweetheart, did y'all get to see my message?
I haven't seen anything. That's what I was about to ask her. Where'd she send a message at? I guess he's figured out how to use a prison or a jail razor because he's not all cut up this time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, Sweetheart. Oh, goodness. Alright. Anyways. Oh, my camera was unplugged. What happened? It's not blue anymore. Yeah, if it was a cat, we missed it too. Oh. Y'all, her husband's hilarious. While we were live last night, he was walking up to her with TikTok videos trying to make her watch them. It cracks me up. Okay, working with trying to keep y'all informed. Did you send like a personal message? Well, I'll check. Let me press play so Huntress can keep. She says active shooter at St. John's School in Danvers, Mass. Oh my gosh. Massachusetts. Okay, let's finish this up for Huntress real quick. And I'll Google about that, Tennessee sweetheart.
And I want to remind you of these issues. So I'll briefly cover your rights, the charges against you, and the maximum penalties if you are found guilty or if you plead guilty. So I'm going to start with the rights. You have a constitutional right to have an attorney represent you throughout these proceedings. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, then one is appointed at public expense. Ms. Taylor and her team have already been appointed, so that's taken care of. You have a right to a speedy and public jury trial where the state would be required to prove every element of each charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. At that trial, you would have the right to cross-examine the witnesses called against you. That means to see, hear, and question them, to call witnesses to testify for you, and if you choose to testify in your own defense. But you're not required to testify because you also have the right of silence. That right is protected under the Idaho and federal constitutions, so you can remain silent throughout these court proceedings, and that can't be held against you in any way. What you do need to remember, though, is that anything you do say, other than to your lawyers, could be used against you in a later court proceeding. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You also have a right to appeal any final decision of the court. In order to exercise that right, you need to file a notice of appeal within 42 days of that final decision, or that right is waived. Also, if you are not
okay, as of right now, there's been no injuries reported.
Any finding of guilt in this state could have adverse consequences to your legal status. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Any questions about the rights?
No.
All right. So let's go to the indictment. You have a copy of the indictment in front of you?
Yes.
Thank you. And you see in the heading your name there. Is that your correctly spelled complete name?
Yes, it is.
Is that the correct birth date underneath your name?
Yes.
Are those the correct last four digits of your social security number?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to read you the charges on the indictment, starting with count 1, burglary. That is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-1401 and 1403. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did unlawfully enter a residence located at 1122 King Road, Moscow, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. Count 2, murder in the first degree. That was a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder.
Wait, what was that face he just
a human being aforethought, unlawfully, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogan, from which she died. Count 3, murder in the first degree, a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on
I
or
like
about
how he's
November
reading and
13,
listening so hard, like he doesn't know
in
what
Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Kayla Gonzalez, a human being, by stabbing Kayla Gonzalez, from which she died. Count 4, murder in the first degree. That's a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. Alleging that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Zaina Pernodal. Excuse me. This is hard. I'm sorry.
This poor judge is stumbling all over their name.
Pernodal, a human being, by stabbing
this is hard. So
Zaina Pernodal, from which she died.
sounds like me though.
Count 5, murder in the first degree. This is a felony under Idaho Code Section 18-4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004. This alleges that you, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being, by stabbing Ethan Chapin, from which he died. This is signed on May 16, 2023, by the presiding grand jury. So now I'm going to go to the maximum penalties of each charge, starting with count 1, burglary, minimum 1 year, up to 10 years in imprisonment, fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and imprisonment, restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. For counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, murder in the first degree, maximum penalties, life in prison, or the death penalty. Fine of up to $50,000, or both fine and life in prison or the death penalty. Restitution for the victim's economic losses resulting from the crime. Also, additional fine of up to $5,000.
Hey, okay, hold on. I've got to pause this for a second. Huns, can you just read comments for 1 second? I got to run outside and I'll be right back. Okay.
You're good. Oh, hopefully those babies get out. Jeez. Dublin, I don't know if y'all could hear her. She said that as of right now, there's no injuries reported. It's hard to hear sometimes over the video. Brian, Pink Fan, I think they need to use the firing squad. They brought it back for a reason. Let him be the first example. I don't know if y'all watched Dolly, but he was talking the other day. He was going through their charges, and he's like, I don't know why they put the burglary charge first. They should have put the murder charges first.
Okay.
To me, did you see that when Dolly was like, why did they put the burglary in first the other day?
Yeah.
Do it.
I don't I don't know why they did that. I'm guessing because it's a lesser. Who knows? I have no idea. I know my cat was
Well,
outside. So I had to go grab her. I saw her in the camera.
oh gosh. To me, it made sense because he broke in the house before he committed
Yeah.
the acts of freaking unaliving. So I would assume that's why they would put it first.
Yes. That's the only thing I can think. They're going in order of the acts of crimes.
Right.
Okay, here's what it says. Today is May 22nd, right? Yes. Okay, so
Mhm.
at 1:49, several dozen troopers and Danvers police, sorry, I had a brain fart, responded to St. John's Prep for report of a person with a gun at a school. Immediate entry made and no threats identified at this time. Teams are doing secondary sweeps. We are aware of no injuries at this time. More to follow. So that was about, gosh, like 20 minutes ago, guys. So
Excuse
right,
me.
it's an all boys Catholic school for grades 6 to 12. Yeah, no injuries at this time recorded though, guys. So let's praise God for that and hope that
Thank God, for real.
nothing else comes of that.
Oh, it's so close to end of school too. What is wrong with people? Those babies are probably like in their last days of school.
Yep. Can we get a knife squad for him? What does that mean? Sub-Zero?
Leave it. Okay, so Pink Fan was like, fry him, because I said fire it up. And I said that I think they should use the firing squad. They brought it back for a reason, make him the first example. And so
Yeah.
Sub-Zero's like, can we get a knife squad, since that's how he took them out? That's how that he should go out.
Right, an eye for an eye.
Absolutely. Hey, Juju.
What's 54? Hey, Grandmammy.
I think she's saying that was her like number because we're at 55.
Oh, Grandmammy Amy. I always say Amy. Grandmammy Annie. Yeah, in hindsight, agreed. Burglary was the first thing he did, maybe because entry came before acts.
Mhm.
And Juju, public torture, let them at him. I agree. This part's almost over, Hunter, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing it because we're about to, after this, we're gonna eat lunch. Since, school's out and I have to feed the little monsters again at lunchtime.
If you are found guilty or plead guilty on each charge, and the maximum sentences are,
a very long period of time.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, my dang mic slid up on my computer and I lost the spot we were in. Let me see if this is the right spot. I tried to grab my mic before it hit buttons, and when I grabbed it, I pressed down on the buttons myself.
Oh no.
I don't know what YouTube's deal is today. Every time I rewind a video, it doesn't want to play.
Taylor, is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will be standing silent.
Because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge. Counts one. All right. So with that, by the way, I do want to let everybody know, if they don't already know this, that once the grand jury issued the indictment, the preliminary hearing scheduled to start on June 26th was no longer needed and was vacated. So some people are confused about that. So I thank counsel and the media and the public for your attention and respect. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
All right. Well, there's that. Hold on.
What the crap is staying silent? So he's not saying one way or another.
Right, he's not. Okay, so at the beginning of that, people think Mama Shimmer in comments, she was saying that she's thinking he did that so that he could accept a plea deal later on. So, it's hitting religious schools now. Yeah, and all boy Catholic school. It's terrifying. Watch him. My granddaughter graduated from WSU last week with double degrees in bioengineering and mathematics. She's now going for her PhD in Florida. Kohberger passed her sorority daily. Oh my goodness, that's terrifying.
I remember Grandmammy Annie saying something about that to begin with.
Jeannie's love bombing. We're love bombing you back,
Hey, Jeannie.
Oh my god, scary thought. It is a scary thought. Holy cow.
Oh, shit.
He could have picked any of them. She's gonna kill her husband in a second. Oh my gosh. He could have picked anyone, guys. I mean, I wish he wouldn't picked anyone, but like who said it? Oh, let me try to find it again. Said that it was Dawn. She said, let me find it, y'all. I'm scrolling up.
Oh my god, I couldn't imagine being Grandmammy Annie and her family knowing that was so close to home for their.
Yeah, especially with this. Where did he say that, guys? Like when he said the shopping was better in Idaho, Washington. Where did he say that?
Allegedly he had said it before.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. It was terrifying before he was caught. I can't imagine everyone there. Yeah, for real chills, like honest chills all over the body thinking about that. Oh, look, Pink Fist says Jeannie with a bunch of hearts. All right, Hunter, so I'm going to end this so I can get them fed and so I can get a few things done. I literally rolled out of bed and started this. I'm sure we'll be back later. We'll see all of y'all on these mean YouTube streets at one point.
Yes.
All right, guys. I hope everyone has a really good rest of their day, and we'll see you on a little bit.